Nice to see you. Thank you. I'm good. Yeah. I'm just surprised. I just didn't know there were quite so many folks here. I wish I could entertain you in another way. Other than well, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That would be cancellation. Let's go with cancellation rather than also. Hi, what would you like to ask?
I'm Jocelyn, and I wanted to know if you had the chance, would you go back and play Klaus over Elijah?
No.
I'm Nicole. So I was told, well not told, I heard, read in an interview that some of the originals were actually supposed to die in Vampire Diaries. So my question is, when did you know you were getting your own show?
That's a good question. I can't remember when. I think perhaps it must have been about a year or so after we were doing it. And I know that Julie had been making suggestions. And once she'd introduced Klaus and she felt confident that she had another cast of characters, then yeah, I wish I could name the episode. I want to say roughly a year after I started the Vampire Diaries. Thank you.
I'm Gillies. I just want to say I'm a huge fan of you.
Thank you.
So in season 5, you talk about that this Bentley is a work of art, and so I was wondering.
The what? What did I say?
The Bentley that she's driving is a work of art.
Sure.
Okay. My favorite part is that you think is a work of art. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what isn't a work of art. I recently got another vehicle because my dog was just. I got this little adorable thing who grew very rapidly to be a not so little adorable thing. And he's like 70 pounds now, so I had to get rid of that vehicle. This is just a way for me to talk about my car. I don't know if there's a car. I've always liked the look of Corvette's Stingrays, the 1970s ones. I always loved those. And I like old Mustangs. I don't know, what other cars have I looked at that I like the look of? No, it's a nice, something I do consider an automobile to be a work of art sometimes. But I'm definitely not driving a work of art right now.
Your performance was a work of art, and I just want to
Oh, thank you so much. Trying to compare it to an artist. Thank you.
Hi, I'm sorry, Simon, I'm talking to you. I love both the shows, the originals. Oh my gosh. Can I get you to say Niklaus?
No, you can't. No. No. It just feels so weird.
I'm Canadian just like you.
You Canadian just like me? Love you. You know what? I'll surprise you later. You know, I'll weave it into the Q&A. Just know it's only for you, no one else. Sure. Next question.
Hello, I'm Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
It's nice to meet you. My question is, what was the funniest thing that happened to you on the set?
I've answered this question a lot of times. Unfortunately, it's the same boring answer. I think it was all funny because we were all very, very professional and loved each other and worked really, really hard. For some reason, the way that we navigated each day was in order to survive the solemnity and because there was no humor woven into the scripts, generally speaking. So we had to lighten it, you know, because it was always every scene was life and death. There was always someone dying. There was a new medallion or a new trinket or I don't know, I can't remember. And so in order to keep it light, we had to work really hard before we got to set, and then laugh with each other the entire day through. And generally speaking, sabotaging anybody else's scene was my favorite hobby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, if they gave you an option
show, what would it be?
So I didn't quite catch the question.
I said, if they gave you an option to pick another name instead of Elijah for the show, what would it be?
Beyonce.
Hey, Kobe number 2. Damn it, I said it out loud. Sorry. So, you were in a movie called Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you remember any of the dance moves that you performed in the movie, and if you can.
No,
So
well, I definitely can't perform them, but I can't even remember the name of the stick dance that I did. I can't remember it. That took me weeks. And still the result is not that great, even on the camera. Really, the result of all that work was. Yeah, I wanted it to be much better than it was, but they were terrific. And I was working with an Indian cast that had flown in from India, where we shot that in London, those particular sequences. I loved it. I wanted to be as good as they were, which was a ludicrous pursuit, given that they've been doing it for their whole lives. But anyway, thank you for watching that.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So your character wore a lot of suits in every single episode pretty much. So did you enjoy that, or would you prefer to wear comfortable casual clothing like the other cast members?
So it's a job. It's acting. I'm playing. It's not about what I prefer. It's about what does the story necessitate. I'm a servant. Truly, it's not a joke. I'm a servant to the story, and I'm a servant to the narrative. So it's not like I wish I was more comfortable. It's like what is the most appropriate thing you can do. When we did Coming Home in the Dark, this movie. Did anybody see Coming Home in the Dark?
I did. You are amazing, sir.
Best movie of last year. If you haven't seen it, you're all traitors.
I want to see it.
But the terrifying. But no, for that movie, we were I made decisions that I made decision that he liked westerns, and that was the way he dressed, and that he was constantly in the cold. So I never went inside, even though we were shooting in terrifyingly cold weather. You make decisions because you're a servant to it. It's not like, am I going to look good for people or anything like that. I didn't care. That was never a thought to me about whether or not I was comfortable. It was just what was appropriate. Sorry, boring answer.
Hi, my question is, did you take anything home from the set of the originals?
The last of my dignity. Next question.
I was just curious, of the Michelson family, who you would pick personally to be your sibling?
Honestly, I'm probably closest to Joe, but because we spend so much time together, but I love all of that cast. I was spoiled. I think that's the reason we laughed so much. We were sort of thrown into that boat together, and it might have been a bit of a case of the lunatics running the asylum, because we were there and there weren't showrunners present. Barely ever. We were there and kind of and trying to keep this thing afloat and working as hard as we could to do that. So I think I don't know. I feel so close to all of them, and I still very close with all of them. Such a political answer. Hi.
The Michelsons had a very impressive fleet of cars. Did you have any say in the cars that Elijah drove?
Big car day today, isn't it? What car did Elijah have? Didn't he have a Jaguar in the end?
Jaguar, Porsche.
Oh, jeez.
Bentley.
Okay. Sure. No, I had no say in any of that. They definitely made me much cooler than I am.
If you choose one, which one?
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Well, apparently they're kind of crappy. Apparently they always need service and parts and stuff, but they look so cool. And who doesn't want to drive a thing that you can call a Jaguar? Hi.
Hi, I was wondering what your favorite moment behind the scenes was.
Oh, when we had to, with a bullet, when everybody had set up a very expensive evening of shooting, and I had to tell the producers that I was leaving for the birth of my daughter. That's my favorite moment.
Hi, hello, my name is Queen.
Yes, it is.
I have a question to ask you.
Well, that's abundantly clear.
Right. Well, I had to turn it into a question,
Oh.
so I had to think of it. But anyway, when you went through the red door, Elijah, what were you thinking about that caused you to get so emotional? When you began to remember, your memories started coming back.
Honestly, I was probably thinking, I hope it's Burrito Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. I was probably thinking, son, it's just so hungry. I just want them to. I don't recall. I don't really use things from my life much. It's a mixed bag. Sometimes I'll use things from my life to trigger the corrective emotion or something, but I don't do that so much anymore. I find that the less I do that, the more I have available to me. I know that sounds abstract, but I guess talking about acting is kind of abstract anyway. It's like talking about dancing.
Okay, and one more thing. I have held on to you telling me that you loved me for 2 years. Because
It was all a lie. It's all bullshit.
the Zoom went off, and you said, I love you, Queen, did I just say that? And my husband was like, what did he say? I said, babe, don't worry about it. But thank you for that.
No, I still love you, and you've got really good preamble game. We did some lovely pre-questions there. No one. I liked my character. There was no, I liked it.
Yeah.
Didn't you? No one. I never had that desire. It was never. I never think like that. And even when I was much younger and stupider and on other sets, I always liked the roles that I had. I never thought I wish I was doing that because I could do that better or well, or I don't know. I never had that feeling.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophie, and my question is, what was one of your favorite episodes to film on either the Vampire Diaries or the originals?
I love it when people make suggestions. This is the one that was your favorite. Really? No, thank you. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that? I just don't remember. I just don't. They all lead into one thing. Oh, you know, actually, that's not. Here I go. I loved when Oliver Ackland. Do you guys remember Oliver Ackland? I think he played Tristan. Came into the picture. He's such a good actor, and I just immediately thought, he was this guy was so talented, and I love that there was this other rival faction that came in, and we had a magnificent director for that episode, and I loved that episode and filming that. It was when he just first appeared, Elijah has to go confront what are they called, the Strix or something?
Yeah, Strix.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, first off, I love you. You're like one of my favorite minds.
It's going to watch during the course of the next 15 minutes. That will slowly decline. Your love might be here. It's just going to be subterranean by the end of this.
And my question is, which Salvatore is your favorite, Damon or Stefan?
Which Salvatore what?
Which Salvatore is your favorite?
Oh, are those the brothers on the with the which one does Paul play? I think you're bullshitting me so that I get this wrong in front of all these people. Let's go with Eddie Stefan. I can't choose a favorite out of those two. I love those guys. That's a loaded question. Frankly, it's cruel. I want that bourbon. I want my free case of that bourbon. You're a nasty, unkind person.
Thank you.
Posing as a lovely, sweet, demure person.
So a few years ago, I helped support your Broken Kingdom, I think.
Oh yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
Are you gonna do something else like that?
Yeah, actually, I am. I'm trying to shoot something later on this year, but I think I have a job to go to, so that might be being pushed until the beginning of next year now. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, yeah. Appreciate your support.
Hi, Daniel.
You sound like I'm a naughty infant. Hi, Daniel. Wrong? Yeah, I was wondering how you were doing that from the distance to the mic. I was going, she's, oh, okay, there, oh, that's my mother. What have I done?
So I have two questions. My first question is, how do you feel about Klaus daggering you all the time?
Well, I daggered him a fair number of times, so it was tit for tat. So it's a fairly reciprocal thing. What became confusing is because they kept using it as a device in the first couple of seasons, they would do it all the time. We did it, I think, like half a dozen times or something in the first 2 seasons, that I kind of ran out of ways to die. Like I was like, oh, well, I don't want to do it the same as the other times. I want this to look unique. And what was interesting is the directors would come in and they would have seen me die before with another daggering or whatever, and they'd say, they'd kind of want the one that you'd done before, and you're like, well, I want to. So it was complicated in that regard. But no, I daggered Klaus a few times too, I think.
And did you like working with Phoebe on the show?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course. Like, yeah, we were in love. I know, I'm joking. We weren't actually. No, she wasn't. This is no. I love her. I don't know why I took it there. That was a weird place to take it. I don't know. I was bored, I think. Yeah, of course I loved her. I just said before, like, I loved her before.
Thank you.
No.
I'm wondering, like, how did you feel about being, like, the noble brother? You were always...
Well, so, he was described as that, but I never saw him as that. I never thought he was I thought he was a very disturbed individual, and who had a borderline pathological devotion to his brother, which was utterly ludicrous, which I wouldn't accept in my own life, But that didn't mean that I didn't, I always try and love my characters, and I loved them deeply and worked as hard as I could for him, And but I did think that he was disturbed, and I didn't think that he was noble at all. I thought he posed as something noble, but I didn't think he was noble. Daniel, do not think he was noble. I don't even know if Elijah would have thought that. Like, other people describe him as that.
And my other thing was, would you rather Catherine or Haley?
Well, Haley. All right. No.
Hi, I'm Kate. Nice to meet you. I love you so much. You're my favorite.
Let me ask you a question. When you guys come up and you're filming it, do you feel like you're receiving the moment, or do you feel like you're sort of 50% in the moment because half of you's filming?
Oh, no, I'm in the moment.
You're in the moment?
No, I'm in the moment.
I'm here to tell you something unfortunate. You're really not. Put the camera down and enjoy this moment. Come on. There we go. Oh, look at that. Feel that. Feel that.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. Is that okay? So my first question is, with acting, how did you balance like parenting and with your little kids?
Not with sufficient aplomb. I didn't do it well in my first couple of years. I was on 2 shows. I was on a show in Toronto where I was, thank you. Where I was on number 2 on the 4 sheet there, and I was flying back and forth. Every weekend I was flying somewhere, and and we had new baby and then babies, and I wasn't doing well, and I would never compromise my family life like that again. I did it in the name of making money because sometimes it's feast or famine as an actor, and at the time I was offered 2 different shows at exactly the same time, so I took it because I wanted to be to provide for my family, and I actually ended up really hurting myself by never sleeping for basically 3 years. So it was, I wish I'd done that better is the short answer to that question. But because I'm indulgent and tedious, I'll give you the lengthy one. Hi.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn, and
play like any other character but still play Elijah at the same, like not at the same time on any show, would you? And who would you play?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw something where I thought, oh man, I'd love to do that. It's unfair to call out those kinds of characters because it makes it seem like you think that you could have done it better, and it's not. I've definitely seen shows where I'm like, if they just fixed this casting, this show would go from good to great, you know, to truly great. But I think you have to, I don't know. Everybody thinks that they know what's better for something, and maybe I'm deluded about it too. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know that there are some amazing actors out there doing beautiful work. Like, I'll watch an episode of like Atlanta, you know, and I'll see those guys, and I'll just be like, man, they're just all so good, and you know, I'm just gobsmacked, blown away by the quality of the performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name's Jessica, and I was just wondering how you started acting.
You know, I was just really lucky. I went to this. My parents had taken me from Canada to New Zealand when I was 5, and I ended up in a school which was really weird and super English, like in its origin. And for whatever reason, they just had a bunch of plays and stuff on when I was very, very young, and I can't remember even making the decision to go into all these plays and things, but I ended up doing it. I think so. I was in a choir at the time. Yeah, shut up. I was singing in a church choir at the time because I was a Christian then, and I sang every day, like 6 days a week. So I went into musical theater from there, and I don't know. I kind of ended up, even as a kid, knowing that this was kind of what I was going to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's a boring answer. Hi.
Hi, I'm Desiree. I have 2 questions, no camera, and I'm ready to live in the moment.
Love it.
The first question
That
is,
sounds like a Twitter bio. The way you said it.
I don't even have Twitter.
Oh, even more in the moment.
My first question is, who is your favorite person to kiss in the series?
Charles Michael Davis.
I have one more question.
He just knows how to nurture your buttocks. And to nurture it, you'd never feel more looked after. So you have another question.
Yes, great. My other question was, how
Charles
did you
Michael Davis.
feel?
Sorry, I'm excited.
How did you feel about Haley's death scene?
You know, I actually, Charles was a bit involved in this because he directed that episode, I think. He had to remind me of kind of what happened. Didn't she burn to death or something?
Yes.
Oh. I don't remember it. I don't think Elijah remembered it either. Wasn't there something about? I don't remember it. I remember there's some sort of betrayal, and then she went outside and burned. I think. Don't remember. How did I feel about it? I remember just thinking, you know, at that time we were all just. I think we knew it was it the last season? Did she die in the last season? I think that we were all just trying to figure out our lives beyond the show, and I don't really remember how that felt.
Right, thank you.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. Be still, my heart. My name is Lenny,
Hi, Lenny.
and you had some steamy scenes with Haley.
Some steamy?
Yeah. So, how did that make you feel, and was it awkward?
No, those things are never, they're never sexy. They never are, because there's a whole lot of people standing around you. Even if you could try as hard as you could to make those sexy, and you'd still fail, in my opinion. They're not sexy, they're robotic. And they're dance steps. There's nothing fun about them. I've never been a guy I married an actress, and my ex-wife, but she was the only actress that I ever dated. I was never attracted to actresses. I never had on-set romances. That stuff, I don't know how people get ensnared in that way.
I don't know, but you played it well.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, I'm a decent actor, I guess. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi there.
I'm Kenzie. I want 2 things to say. One, I just want
Oh, I liked like his economy of language and the simplicity of him. You know, I might never play a character that clean and clear again. You know, I like that, and I also like that he was posturing as this gentleman, but really he was a train wreck underneath. I think that's what I liked about him the most.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't want me to go see if they have one?
What's your like dream show to be on?
Oh, you know, I see some shows sometimes, and I think, oh, why didn't I audition for that? But I'm not. I don't know if I have a dream show that I'm either involved in. The problem with being an actor is you see how the sausage is made. That's not a sexual reference. It's just don't make it weird, Nashville. Yeah, because you see how it's made, you become highly critical of how you can see. A show has to be very, very, very good for me to not think about how it's being made. I don't really enjoy television very much anymore, although there's a show I'll give to you. I love how Ben Stiller directs, and this one, Severance. Have you guys watched Severance yet? It's the best show I've ever seen, like in the last 20 years. It's like an 8-hour episode of Black Mirror. It's on Apple. Severance. I would do anything to work with Ben Stiller. He did another movie. I think it was also with Patricia Arquette, Benicio del Toro, and Paul Dano, and it was called Escape from. Can't remember the name of the prison, but he did that as a miniseries as well. But I think what Ben Stiller for his kind of, I have all these goofy associations with him because of all of his comedies, but he's a powerhouse television director, and I would love to be part of that Severance universe. Anything that's kind of Black Mirror-esque, you know, I love dystopian futures and whatnot. Thank you.
Nate mentioned that you're gonna try to meet up with you, so I was wondering if I did.
I would love to meet up with Nate. There's so much to catch up on. I haven't seen him in a while. Did he do an imitation of me yesterday? He usually does an imitation of me.
No, I just asked him if he wished he was ready the same day as you, and he said yes.
Yeah, I know, it'd be fun. I miss him. I'm gonna try and get hold of him tonight. Yeah, presumably he's still in Nashville.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Colorado now, right? I don't know. You know, I'm gonna find his name.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Meg, and I wanted to ask, who of the cast, since we're very close to castmates, who made you laugh or break character and just made you think it doesn't have to be serious or dramatic all the time?
They all did. It was just, and in their eyes, it was probably vengeance because of the things that I'd done to around them. But I don't know. I don't remember a day when we were kind of laughing. We were always laughing because the scenes were so serious. I mean, most of those scenes that you see where we're sort of trembling with rage and passion and ire, almost all of those scenes we're unquestionably like dying hysterically of laughter behind the scenes. Thank you.
Who is your least favorite character in the original family?
Also a vicious question. You're a savage. My least favorite character in the Michelson family? I'm not. You're just gonna get me in trouble with someone or some actor or something. I don't have one that leaps to mind. Actually, the truth is I don't have one that leaps to mind. So mean. So mean. I love you anyway. All right. Next person.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I was wondering, how many suits did you have to change into an episode on the movie?
So could you repeat that?
How many suits did you have to change into on one episode of the movie?
I don't know. I remember. I'd say sometimes it was one, and sometimes it depends on how many days transpire. but he never wore the same suit 2 days in a row because he had style. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and my question is, what was your initial reaction when you read the script and saw your and Klaus's ending together?
Yes, that's a great question. I don't remember that moment. I don't know. I don't remember. Again, it was so close to the end. I wish I could give you a better answer than that. If I had to fathom guess, it's probably that I opened a bottle of champagne. I'm kidding. No, I think the idea was that we were always going to die together. I think that was always on the cards somehow. I didn't know how we were going to reach that place. But I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Howdy. Hi, I'm Karina. What is your least favorite and most favorite episode that you worked on the show?
Yeah, just answer before. My favorite one was probably like, the one with, what's his face? With Kristen. My least favorite was when we had to do these things. I think we had to kind of be baptized, or not, but we were in this water, and do you remember when we were in the water, the dirty water? That water gave me an ear infection, and Joseph an ear infection, and both of us stuntmen an ear infection, and everybody around the pool an ear infection because we dug this dirty pool. This was pre-COVID, so you could have a waiting pool on set, and yeah, that was disgusting. It was just human soup. No, thank you for reminding me of the worst day of my professional life.
Aileen, back again.
Hey, where are you all going? Oh, they're just moving around. It's musical chairs. Hi.
Hi, I was wondering, so if Elijah wasn't so caught up in Cost of Redemption, do you think,
If Elijah wasn't what with Cost of Redemption?
so caught up in Cost of Redemption?
Yes.
Elijah's relationship with Marcel, I know it would have been different. How do you think it would have been different? Because you kind of shoot him away when he was a child, and then they were kind of.
Like, how do you, so just to get to the question, it's,
Like,
how do you think my relationship with Marcel would be if I wasn't so embroiled?
If Elijah hadn't dismissed him when he was a child.
I mean, Elijah probably would have just taken him out the moment he came to New Orleans. Yeah, just he wouldn't have bothered with the.
You don't think he would have been nicer to him?
No. Even though I would be to Charles, but all right. All right.
Thank you.
Hey, my name is Micah, and my question is, if you wish the show would have had more seasons?
Would have had more what?
More seasons? Like, it would have been longer?
No. And it always surprises me when people say, oh man, I wish you could come back, I wish there's more, I wish you could guys do another one. I'm like, listen, my favorite show of all time is The British Office, right? There's 2 episodes of 6, 2 seasons of 6 rather, and a Christmas special. That's a total of 14 hours of television, and it's enough. And I go back to each episode dozens, hundreds of times, whenever I'm not feeling good. Like that show, it's not just comedically perfect, it's dramatically perfect. It's one of the best written pieces of television I've ever seen in my life. I can go back to that first season of Fargo over and over and over again. It's perfect. It's just letter perfect. I don't need more than the 12, I think, that it gave me. How many of these did we give you? Like 90 or something around that. Plus all the Vampire Diaries ones we've got. There's enough. There's enough.
I love you.
No, I love you. It sounded disingenuous. I love you. I haven't been acting in a while. Hi.
Hi, my name is Ashima. I just wanted to say I love you. And I had 2 questions. One question was, what was the most embarrassing moment you had on set, either Vampire Diaries or originals?
I don't remember being embarrassed. Well, it's always pretty embarrassing when you're fighting invisible foes and when you're doing, when you have to commit to, most of what an actor does is, if they're good, and they want to go someplace, it's embarrassing, you know. You're going to a certain place of vulnerability that doesn't feel like comfortable. You know, you become very good at becoming publicly vulnerable. So it's all kind of embarrassing. I think that I don't know, part of our job is that we're just comfortable with that embarrassment because we're whores. Hi.
Hi. It's not really originals related, but I was just curious if you had any upcoming like projects that you're excited about or you can speak on.
I do have something forthcoming that I am excited about, and I asked yesterday if I could talk about it. Apparently I can't, because they haven't made their little declaration to the world. So I'm waiting to, but apparently I'm shooting it fairly soon, far away from here. And I'd like to be able to organize that and discuss it, but I'm really excited. I'm excited by the cast, and I get to come in and play a really cool role in this new thing. So it's fun. I know that's incredibly opaque, and I apologize. I wish I could talk about it, but apparently I'm forbidden to talk about it.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Hi, I'm Amber, and my question is more coming home in the dark instead of originals. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
It's more of
I literally just felt like 50 pounds left off the back of my.
It's more of a comment than the question's coming. I just wanted to say that the performance, you were truly terrifyingly just menacing. And like, it was so intense that I literally had to turn it off about 20 minutes into it just to take a break. I mean, not a lot of actors.
Well, that's the director. That minute 13. At minute 13.
Yeah.
So just to let people know, I'm gonna plug my movie.
It's intense, folks.
There's something in this movie at minute 13 that you've never seen in a movie before. I promise you. And it's so challenging. And most people say that they make a decision at that point on whether or not to continue watching it. Yeah, when I read the script, I thought the script was going one way, and I got to that page, and I read it, and I went back and reread the page before and reread it, and I screamed. I howled, and my wife at the time came into the room and said, "What is going on?" And I said, "The script," and she goes, "Whatever it is, do not do that." You know? And I understand her sentiment because she thought because she's seen me read thousands of scripts, and it just, but this one was so startling. I've never seen anything like that.
But you were so brilliant. And
Oh, thank you.
What made you so menacing and so terrifying is you weren't so overtly so. And you can even make that argument with Elijah, because everybody knows that Klaus is prone to like outbursts and you know what to expect. With Elijah, you don't, and that makes him more scary and more dangerous. And you forget about stuff that happens in the church. But anyways, I didn't mean to go on about that. But my question is like, since you were so brilliant in that role, do you get a thing just with psychological suspense type?
No, I mean, I think I knew I could do that. Like, I grew up around some tough men, in the country I grew up in. I grew up around these tough guys who were genuinely tough, and they weren't grandstanders, and they didn't talk a lot. And if you said anything that they were uncomfortable with or didn't like, they didn't talk to you about it. They just did something, And I grew up around those men, and I watched them very closely. And I'm not one of them. I know I can play one of them apparently. But that movie was just a perfect opportunity to express kind of like my feelings growing up in New Zealand, actually. That movie is, the fact that I have that, I can die a happy man. That movie is unbelievable.
It shows you can do anything.
Oh, it was so sweet. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Credit to the director. Thank you. I've thought about this a lot. Probably a writer of some kind. I don't know. I've always been just fascinated by language, and probably a writer. I'd definitely be doing something artistic, I think, but I don't know if I'd be in this business, but I imagine writing. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kat, and I was curious what acting role you were most proud of.
Yeah, I'd have to say the movie in Coming Home in the Dark that we just discussed is probably like, it's the best executed thing that I've ever been in. I've never been a part of something that just cohesive and lovingly conceived, even though it's a very dark film. Yeah, well, I mean, it sort of poses as a psychological thriller or horror, but it's actually really talking about society. You know, it's what I love the most about it. You know, I mean, that movie for sure. Thank you. Sorry, there's some banging going on around behind me. Can you say that again, please? That's nice and clear. Hi, Scarlett. Oh. Man, honestly, first of all, I'm very grateful for that question. I'm so touched. You know, I feel so lucky to be able to do this, and I'm incredibly honored that you've all come here, and thank you so much for today. And thank you for asking that question, Goodbye. Daniel Gillies, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.